Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. Bill Laimbeer's Combat Mother. Let's talk about it. Why not? The wounds have all healed. I just recently picked this up at a retro video game swap meet. I never had it when it came out. It was kind of a nostalgic joke of a purchase. That cost me nothing. The guy at the booth was like, "You want this?" And that guy was like, "Yeah, for fun, how much is it?" He didn't answer. He just handed me the game, and when I took it, he just went, "I'm free, I'm free." And he just ran off laughing, cackling. Never saw the guy ever again. And now I finally have it. Now, when this game came out, I was a bit too hyped to play it. It wasn't like I was a Bill Laimbeer fan back then, far from it. He was one of the most hated players in the game. Even if you were a Detroit Pistons fan, he was maybe your third or fourth favorite bad boy. This was a dude who had no problem just going to your heroes like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and just putting a DDT on them on the court in the middle of a game. But since I was around 13, 14 at the time, making a no-rule Chicago street fight, Super Nintendo kind of dystopian futuristic basketball game starring the NBA's biggest asshole, how could it be bad? If they had tossed half-naked barbarian chicks into this game and I knew about it back then, I would have robbed the people I loved to have gotten a copy. I wanted to own this game so bad, and my mom's boyfriend, my dad, thankfully he knew better. He was like, "Why don't we try renting this one first?" I think he could feel the suck emanating from it. And he left me in the video game section of the video store so he could go rent some porn for him and my mother to watch later that evening. And I was looking at that box for Bill Laimbeer Combat Basketball, and I was like, "Nah, yeah, we'll rent it, but this is going on the Christmas wish list real fast." Spoiler alert, it never made the Christmas wish list. I think Make-A-Wish kids who might have gotten this game as a gift were like, "Well, fuck, can I have another wish? Is there enough time?" So still, there I was, rental weekend time, unbeknownst to all that was waiting for me, ready to rock this game. I popped it in, and holy shit. The most important part of it, the gameplay, the game does not control well at all. And I was like, nah, this can't be fucking happening. I double checked to make sure that I didn't make the mistake that a lot of gamers made back then in that era, and that was to accidentally put the game in go fuck yourself mode. But no, it wasn't. Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball plays so slow for a basketball game. Fuck, it plays slow for a spelling bee simulator. And it's funny because when you see the scores of the other games in the league play mode, the balls on them to show some games where both teams scored over 70 points. And that's still slow for a fucking basketball game. You're past that shit midway through the second quarter in double dribble. The most exciting game I got playing Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball was winning 14-10. I should never be thinking, whoo, we got a barn burner on our hands, being down 8-6 at halftime of a fucking basketball video game. A Little League game where all the players have just learned how to hold a basketball would be a more accurate representation of basketball than Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball. I wonder if they even asked Marv Albert to do the play-by-play voiceovers for the game, and he spent one weekend with this game like I did, and then he was biting women in hotel rooms from then on out. Really doesn't help that the roster of the players all look like the guys who were doing an awful cosplay of the guys that got the shit kicked out of them in the Final Fight games. Now, the one thing I really enjoyed about this game was this right here. One of the team names is the Brothers Grimm. That's a great name for a basketball team. That's a great name for a tag team. That's a great name for a tennis doubles team. That's a great name for a children's hospital. So when the weekend was over, I was happy to send this shit back to the video store. I think one of the reasons I was so excited at the thought of Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball, I love this arcade game called Pigskin 621 AD. It was this hysterical, itchy and scratchy, cartoonishly ultra-violent, medieval take on football. And always my first stop at the arcade. So I thought, well, if they can do this with football, there could be something cool like this for every sport. And that's what I was hoping Bill Laimbeer's Combat Basketball would be. And it can't be that hard to pull off. Fucking Atari had a game called Ninja Golf, and it's pretty fun. Pigskin 621 AD actually got a home port for the Sega Genesis, but it was rebranded inexplicably as Jerry Glanville's Pigskin Foot Brawl. But the fact that it was Pigskin 621 AD almost was reason enough to get me to ask for a Genesis for Christmas. But my cousin who had a Genesis rented that game one weekend when I was hanging out with him, and whew, That version sucks shit too. It's such a shitty, unfun port of the arcade game that part of me wonders if Jerry Glanville programmed it himself. I mean, you're getting this watered down bullshit version of Pigskin with occasional sound bites of Jerry Glanville going, "Let's kick some butt." Yeah, they should have at least made his voice acting era appropriate. Like, "Heck of a play, fellas. Let's go fuck some witches after the game." I actually really hope they had to edit down Jerry Glanville's dialogue that he recorded for the game. And then after the game, you get this shitty 16-bit picture of Jerry Glanville that looks like that would be his fucking Tinder profile. So it was kind of this double shot of shit of Bill Laimbeer's basketball giving me hope for like an Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Running Man but basketball game that fucking sucked. And then thinking, well, maybe the port of Pigskin 621 AD won't be bad, and then that fucking sucked. I will say what Bill Laimbeer's combat basketball has done has left this void in me that yearns to be filled with some kind of dystopian, futuristic sports game that's endorsed by a celebrity that doesn't suck. Like, as fun as Mutant League Football was, what about Marv Levy's Mutant League Football? Maybe a baseball game where you're Tony Gwynn and you and your family have survived a nuke going off and you have to go hunt for food, but at the same time you have to play mutated worms in a game of baseball. What about a game where you're on a distant dying moon and you're doing slave mining labor, but you have to get enough cocaine for Maradona to be fueled to win your freedom in a soccer match? A dystopian hockey game where you're just hanging around Wayne Gretzky, listening to him talk about current social and political issues and his beliefs on them. That might be the most depressing one of them all. And now that I own this game, hey, maybe I give it a second chance. Maybe I try to play it again. Who am I kidding? There's no way I'm what the fuck? I can't let go. Well, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe to the channel, spread the word, and we'll see you next time